The cries of seagulls over the seashore, the smell of salt water, the feeling of wind on your face. Romantic? Yes, but only until you decide to get to know the seagulls a little better. Like with this little thief who stole a GoPro camera. If it seems to you that in her gaze you see the coolness of a gangster, well, don't think. The seagulls are really in constant combat readiness mode. It turns out that they are real scumbags, it's better not to mess with them. And this is at a relatively modest size. It sounds like the laughter of some movie villain, don't you agree? These pigeons mistook the seagull for another beggar bird. Very wrong. In fact, the seagull came to have a snack just with them. With its sharp beak, this creature inflicted such crushing blows that the pigeons had no chance. Agree. Now you will look at the seagull with completely different eyes. The seagull can only use brute force, but also tactics. Here she caught a pigeon and drowned it so as not to fight for a long time. Cold calculation in the case. The same thing is the case with the sparrow hunting. The seagull is in no hurry and does not waste energy. She flew up to the bird, grabbed the first sparrow she saw, and flew away. It's like going to the bakery for bread. And even a rat is waiting for the same fate, although usually this animal can fight back even a small dog. Moreover, a seagull can attack a larger animal. For a seagull, a domestic cat in size is the same as a mountain lion for a person. But this does not prevent the bird from calmly approaching the cat during his lunch and coolly taking away his food. The cat is shocked by such impudence and does not know how to react. Perhaps this saved him. He never got hit with the powerful beak of the seagull. Why did the seagull attack the dog? It's a mystery. From the point of view of instinct, this makes no sense. The bird will not be able to eat the dog. There is nothing to take away from him. It seemed that the four-legged simply did not like this feathered one, who believes that he owns the entire surrounding area. Therefore, the seagull attacks the dog again and again, like some fighter coming into turns, hits and tries to drive away the stunned dog, which, despite the absence of injuries, even becomes a little sorry. The impudence of the seagull reaches some incredible levels. People on the pier noticed the tuna and decided to lure it closer to the surface with food. Is someone throwing food around? Of course, the seagull could not ignore this and flew as low as possible over the water in order to catch the food. As a result, the tuna accidentally was grabbed. This fish turned out to be so big that it could swallow a seagull whole. But tuna really didn't know who he was messing with. It is unclear whether he was just scared or the seagull managed to inflict some damage to the fish with its beak, but the tuna released the seagull from its mouth. Surprisingly, the bird survived. We thought that such stories were possible only in fantastic blockbusters, to get into the mouth of an underwater giant, but to fight and get out of there alive. The seagull brings this plot to life. Although we used to think that seagulls live near the seacoasts, these birds also fly quite far from the water. Many were struck by the brutality of the plot in hunting such a seagull. She noticed the rabbit's lair, a cute, fluffy creature, but not for the seagull. For her, a rabbit is a hearty lunch. A seagull catches him near the entrance to the den and puts its beak into action. It's not as sharp as the hawk's, but it's very durable. The seagull is able to lift the rabbit and cause irreversible damage to the spine with sharp, powerful movements from side to side. After that, the seagull eats the victim whole. But a rabbit weighs only 3 times less than a bird. It's as if a person could eat a couple of huge steaks, several burgers with potatoes, several portions of meat, salads, snacks in one sitting, and after that, he still wanted supplements. Monstrous appetite, wouldn't you agree? Moreover, hunting for a rabbit is the norm for this bird. It must be admitted that the seagulls sometimes run into an opponent, with whom it is still better not to mess. Who can resist this feathered one? Of course, only another bird. And we are not talking about hawks, but about ordinary ducks. That's who can show the seagull that she made a mistake with her opponent. A duck fights with the seagull in its element, on the surface of the water. Thanks to a special secret with which she lubricates her feathers, they do not get wet in the water, and ducks can not only swim for as long as they want, but also dive. If an eagle got into the water, its wings would just get wet and it would drown. In a battle with a seagull, the duck uses its advantage 100%. She just drowns the enemy, pushes from above, and constantly attacks with her beak, pinches, and hits. It is not always possible for a seagull to climb back onto a wing after that. Do you like stories about the triumph of justice? For example, where a robber breaks into a house thinking that there are defenseless grandmothers, but meets someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson inside and even armed. The camera lens caught the same story, but from the world of birds. The hawk wanted to ruin someone else's nest. He did not see who lived there, but decided that he was still in no danger as a formidable predator. Therefore, he can fly there to feast on eggs or even eat other people's chicks. In vain. He didn't know who he was messing with. One gets the feeling that he was expected there. As soon as his head appeared in the entrance, 2 large owls immediately pulled him inside. It turned out that this was their home, and the hawk invaded the territory or even larger and stronger birds of prey. The panic in his eyes indicates that he understood his mistake as well. The owls grabbed his paws with their own and literally disarmed him. The hawk could only spread its wings to push them away somehow. No attempts to escape helped. The owls seemed to have chained their enemy. Moreover, they did not even try to peck it or tear it with their claws. It seems that they have taken him hostage and are enjoying the horror of the hawk, who no longer hopes to get out of there alive. Surprisingly, in the end, the hawk is released and it breaks out of someone else's nest. He will never climb in there again. And what would you do in the place of these owls? Answer in the comments. What do you know about swans? It is quite widely known that they are monogamous and faithful birds that choose one pair for their entire life. Therefore, as well as because of the elegant curve of the neck, powerful wings, and beautiful plumage, they have become a symbol of love. Well, love is cruel, just like swans. It turns out that these birds are real looters who ruin other people's nests. If there is another feathered creature next to them, an unpleasant surprise awaits him. The swan attacks for no reason and provocation, even completely harmless neighbors. With powerful blows of their wings, they are able to stun an opponent, after which they drown him in the water. And if a land animal gets into the water, which is almost helpless there, then this is a real gift for a cruel swan. The dogs did not know who they were messing with and did not immediately realize that their only chance to escape was flight. Away from the water, a swan can also give you some surprises. For example, for no reason just attacking a dog. The swan has no bloodthirsty motives, he's not trying to eat the dog, just beat him up. And the only reason is that the bird just didn't like the dog. In general, the devotion of swans goes beyond all bounds. This family was crossing the roads when the chicks suddenly stopped. That's it, it's their road now. And multi-ton cars will have to wait or go around these impudent birds. Otherwise, the enraged father will attack them too. It seems that the policeman does not protect birds from people, but on the contrary, keeps drivers away from swans to avoid a fight. Just look at how far away from the swans this cop is trying to stay. He knows what's coming for him. The swans are also fighting amongst themselves, and very brutally. This swan attacked the black cousin, perhaps for the sake of the territory, or maybe just a bad mood. And even the retreat of the enemy did not force the aggressor to stop. He chased another swan, pinched it, and then grabbed it by the throat and tried to drown it. Fortunately, the black swan broke free and managed to escape. But he will definitely leave this pond for a long time. And the ducks who watched the battle also clearly don't want to go back there. What kind of birds has your opinion changed of now? Who do you consider harmless, and now, on the contrary, are you afraid of? Answer in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe because we have some amazing things to surprise you with still.